If South Africans really wanted the land, we would begin by building what I think of as an evidence vault, living archive that gathers proof carefully and preserves it with discipline. Land reform is often discussed in emotional terms, yet courts do not decide cases on emotion. They decide them on records, dates, signatures, and documented histories. Title deeds, transfer records, surveyor diagrams, and even old government notices from forced removals carry more weight in a courtroom than any speech ever could. The framework for this already exists in laws like the Restitution of Land Rights Act, which created a system where documented dispossession could be reviewed and remedied. Communities that were able to present detailed records of removal or ownership were able to move their claims forward with clarity. Those without documentation faced a much steeper path. When you look at that history, you begin to see that information is not just administrative detail, it is leverage. If structural change is the goal, then careful record keeping becomes a civic responsibility rather than a technical exercise. As of today, even, much of South Africa's land information still sits in fragmented databases, in physical archives, or private hands, even though we live in a time where digitization is normal in banking, education, healthcare, and so many other industries. One evidence vault could be digital, publicly searchable, and community driven, allowing people to upload, verify documents, map ownership patterns, and track long chains of transfers. This would not replace the state's role, but it would strengthen public oversight and sharpen legal challenges. The practical question is, who would build it? And whether elements of it already exist within institutions like the Deeds Office, universities, or civil society groups that study land patterns. If parts already exist, then the task becomes coordination and accessibility rather than invention. An archive of this kind would transform political claims into structured arguments grounded in fact before anyone files a case or drafts a policy proposal. There would be a foundation of organized evidence. If we truly wanted the land, we would treat documentation as seriously as we treat debates or commissions.